In this video I'm going to be restoring my headlights. There's some oxidation on the outside layer of the plastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some fine grit sandpaper and sand the surface on the outside just to get rid of the oxidation. And then I'm going to do a clear coat layer using it's clear coat. It's made for outdoor use. It's got a non-yellowing tint. It doesn't allow it to turn yellow from the sun, and it's made for outdoor use. You need that because when you sand this down, there is actually a protectant on here to prevent the sun from damaging the plastic, such as making it yellow or becoming brittle and cracking. So you do want to put that on there to protect the plastic. I'm going to be taking the lamps off the car completely because in the back side I was touching up some paint and I put some painter's tape like on the edge of the fender, the quarter panel back there I should say, and when I peeled it off, it peeled the clear coat off, so I ended up having to touch that up as well. So I'm actually going to take these out of my car so I don't have to worry about messing up the clear coat on this car, because this paint is pretty bad and I don't trust this car. On another car, I'm actually going to do it on the Volkswagen Passat over there. That car, I'm going to leave them in because the paint is fine on that car. But on this car, I'm going to take it out because I don't trust the clear coat. I took this side off. It's actually pretty easy. There's two pins. There's the one here, and then there's one here. So what you do, you grab it and you twist it. You grab this one, twist it, then you just pull up. Pull this one up. And then the whole thing will just slide forward. Then there's a connector for each bulb. For this one, you just lift this up. You can use a screwdriver or your fingers. I'll just use my fingers. Slides away like that. Then this one, I'm going to flip it over, has a red pin. What you do is you slide that pin up like that, then you pinch down. Focus. You squeeze this, pull it off. And then before we start the process, we need to wash it. Wash the whole clear part of the lens. Soap and water, then let it soap and water, and then we're gonna wet sand it. So I got some 1500 grit, some 600 grit. I would actually suggest going 1000, 1500, 2000. Could not get 2000 at my place, and I also could not get 1000. So I'm just gonna go lightly with the 600, and then a little bit heavier with the 1500, and see how that looks. You want to use a block. I can't find my sanding block. You can use a small piece of wood if you have one. I'm just gonna not use it today, but you really should use one. We're just gonna wet sand. So go ahead and take your sandpaper and dip it in some water, and lightly, you don't need to put that much pressure with this, just lightly sand it. Finished the 600 grit, and it's better. This is before the 600 grit. It's a lot more yellow, so it's already looking better. And when you sand it, you can actually feel it will get smoother. You can feel it get smoother. I'm gonna do the 1500 now. So this is a side by side. The one on the right I haven't started on yet. I did wash it with soap and water, but that's it. This one I sanded with 600 grit and 1500 grit. It actually feels pretty smooth and clean. So it's ready to be clear coated now. And it does look kind of hazy right now if you look at it, but that'll actually go away once you put the clear coat on. So I'll clear coat this, And I won't touch this one yet. I'll show you guys a side-by-side of before and after basically, and I'll go ahead and start spraying the clear coat on this. Now it's important, two things. One, that you get one that says indoor outdoor. Come on, focus. Indoor outdoor, and also non-yellowing. Those are very important. Then make it focus once more. You don't want much. Doesn't take much. Make sure that you're spraying on a clean, dry surface. Alright, that's all it takes. Let that dry, and I might do a second coat, I don't know yet. But look at it. I mean, it was hazy before I sprayed it on, which is how it needs to be. Now it's clear. And if you look at this one, this hasn't been touched yet. So I went from this to this. And it's pretty glossy right now because it is still wet, but it's gonna look just like that. Just might not be as reflectively shiny, but I went from this to this, and I think that's a pretty good improvement. I'm happy with it. Let this dry before you put it on the car. I believe this Cam says, I think it dries in 10 minutes, but it cures in 24 hours, something like that. Just make sure you follow the directions of the can. So I'm done with the process, but I'm actually going to do it again. So I sprayed the clear coat on this one, and it still has some haze to it. I don't know if I maybe missed some clear coat spot, but I'm just going to start over on this one. And then on this one, I didn't sand it enough. If you look right here, you can kind of see the edge of the protectant. Like the protectant was worn off everywhere except for like the edge, and I didn't sand through that enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand this one again. I'm just gonna do it again. So and there's some right here too. You can kind of see it's right here. Like if you see this line right here, that's actually the protectant. So if you're not happy with the way it looks still hazy, you can do it again. Just start completely over with the 600 grit and then the 1500 grit, and then go over it again with the clear coat.